Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Animation Weekly Recap. It is almost Thanksgiving, but for y'all, it's a day after. We hope your bellies are full and you're watching this with leftovers.
And your hearts are warm and thankful.
Yeah, more importantly.
Thank you. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, you forget. I forget.
I forget.
I think about that food.
The reason for this season.
Yeah, it is. It's to be thankful. And
It is.
we are very thankful. I don't know. One of my daughters, not you, said the other day to me, Dad, you work all the time. Are you happy? And it split second.
Lexi?
No, this was Ellie. And I was like, well, and my wife works a lot too, but we both love our jobs. And we said, my answer was, yeah, I am. I mean, I am a little burned out right now. I'm going to be honest. We took on some freelance through Pencilish.
It's a bit busy
directing
right
a feature
now.
film, blah, blah, blah. The podcast is a lot. Yeah, I love what I do. And so even when I am working, I must admit, it's, I kind of want to be there.
Yeah, fun fact about Tom, when I first started at Pencilish, he asked me to kind of like help because in the beginning, we didn't really know where my position was going to go.
Right.
Anyways, he wanted me to help him like kind of build out a calendar so that he could keep up with number one, just like his meetings and stuff and be more prepared because he was missing meetings, forgetting they were happening.
That's still the dream.
And it was just so that, he could kind of get some work off of him and be better at prioritizing time.
Sure.
Anyways, I made his calendar so that like he has the weekends off. And he was like, wait, what do I do with my Saturday? And I was like, you enjoy it. And he was like, no, I want to work on Saturdays. So.
Well, I felt like I had to. It's not like I don't want to be with my family.
To. Not with how I scheduled you.
Right. But there was always stuff to do. And
yeah, he hates his family.
No, it's not true. The other part is that and they're all out of the house, so I do have a lot more availability for Saturdays. So just want to make that clear. So
we know how it really is.
But you made up that calendar and you hand wrote it into like a date book and a planner.
Yeah, that's how I do my calendar.
You love that stuff. And
it
then
got tossed away in a week.
Immediately, like a weekend, I'm like, I keep changing things and, just not doing. And that now is over on the next day. And this is frustrating. And yeah, I gave up on it.
So quickly. All my work, I think I did like literally months work. Like your months were planned out.
You did. You planned out like months. I'm like,
a year.
Honey, I can't plan that far ahead. I don't know what I'm going to be doing then.
Well, it was, I can't remember. Anyways, it was a bust.
Yeah.
What are you thankful for? Your work?
I'm thankful for number one, my family. Yes, my family.
Are you?
Honestly, I am. And it's funny to say, oh yeah, you work a lot and yet you're thankful, number one, for your family. I am thankful for my job.
I don't think anybody says that.
I just think people are suspect. They don't believe me.
I know you're really trying to like back yourself and it's making you look worse. Like you hang out with us.
I know.
It's fine.
Well, that's the thing is like, I have had people tell me that like, well, how do you get it all done? And do you ever see your family and things like that? And then other people are a little bit more related to me that are more point blank. I won't say who. And, but, I feel like I see you guys a lot. Do you guys feel like...
I feel like there's never anything
time?
You're not at. Like,
Okay.
if that's what you're talking about. Like, we don't have plans that you're not coming to.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, you're always there.
Well, and you guys all being grown, you obviously have your own things you're doing.
Yeah,
so.
We're not, like, eating dinner together every night. We're all not in the house.
Right. And I do eat together with my wife every night, so yes.
Anyways, thanks for asking me. I am thankful, too, for my family, my friends, my people, my puppies, and everything.
You got cute puppies. Put in the comments what you're thankful for. Is it a career thing or is it a family thing? But hopefully both. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, big day today, and we should just go ahead and get into it.
Three interesting topics.
3 interesting topics. The news were a little bit quiet this week because it's Thanksgiving, but there is... I can't speak.
Most of the stuff
we
was
will always
announced
find an article
at the beginning of the week or the end of last week, so they can kind of clear Thanksgiving.
Right. So we're starting off with article number 1. Breaking news. You have some big competition.
I know about this. Go ahead.
Angel Studios acquires Mofax, The King of Kings, for Easter release. When were you going to release?
That's before us. So we're in September 5th that we release, end of summer, and they're talking about basically the beginning of the summer, right?
Yeah, April 11th.
I don't know if that's summer or not, but yeah, before summer.
Isn't there issues with Angel Studios?
There is, but so this is a distribution deal. I happen to know a lot about this. So the movie that they're releasing is called King of Kings.
Right.
So that's the half that she was kind of alluding to.
It's based off Charles Dickens' short story, The Life of Our Lord.
Yeah, which a lot of you guys, I'm sure, don't. I didn't know it, that Charles Dickens, one of his last stories he wrote, and it's like a short story.
I didn't know he was Christian.
Apparently he was. Yeah, I guess I didn't know either. But he wrote a story that was basically his, and I don't know much about the story at all, but it is about Jesus, and it's like him telling a story to his kids about Jesus. So I think that's the scenario of the story, and it is kind of short, and they've now acquired the rights to use it and from the estate. And anyway, this film, King of Kings, is a direct competition with the film that I'm working on right now called The Light of the World. Both films are animated films about Jesus, basically.
And both, like, okay, granted, this is like CG and like kind of bobbleheady.
Yeah,
but
very bobbleheady. Oh my gosh.
I kind of liked it.
Do you?
Yeah.
I wondered. Okay.
But your Jesuses look somewhat familiar.
Here's their Jesus, and here's our Jesus. Okay.
They somewhat resemble each other.
Only in that everybody does Jesus with long brown hair and a mustache and beard.
Goatee, to be exact. You guys both did goatees.
No, that's not a goatee, and neither do we. We have a full beard.
Isn't the goatee where it goes like this?
Yeah, but there can't be anything here. This is a beard.
Goatee and beard,
with
though.
Mustache.
Yeah, but you guys did the exact same thing.
Everybody does that. That's what I'm saying. Is like those.
It almost
things...
looks like he's wearing the same outfit.
No, I mean, okay. Look, here's the thing. There's certain iconic things about Jesus, and this comes from paintings and things like that, right? But through the years, people have decided certain things about Jesus that may or may not be based on what he really looked like. Nobody really knows, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But through the years, master painters and stuff, we're talking about like the Rembrandts of the world and things like that, they've decided
Are you trying to make it okay
what
that
Jesus, is the
you made
iconic
the same
Jesus look. There's iconic Jesus elements that you have to include, otherwise people won't think it looks like Jesus. And so we played along just like over hundreds of years people have done in their images of Jesus. Okay.
So, it's got a really good voice cast.
They have an amazing voice cast. I will give them that 100%. They went to a friend of mine that me and Uncle Tony know that used to do voice casting for Disney. He was a part of getting the voices for Disney films, has amazing contacts, and he actually did all the voice casting for Animal Crackers, which was a film Uncle Tony worked on for Netflix that had an amazing voice cast. He can get people, as long as you say, yeah, we'll pay the money, which I guess they did that.
Did you guys get people for Light of the World?
We have nobody you've ever heard of in the Light of the World. I hate to say it.
Oh, this competition's looking tough.
I know. So we did not put our money in voice casting. Name off some of the celebrities since you mentioned
Kenneth Branagh from Belfast.
Kenneth Branagh. How do you say his name?
I don't know.
But anyway.
He's as Charles Dickens. Academy Award nominee Uma Thurman, Pulp Fiction, as Catherine Dickens. Pierce Brosnan from Tomorrow Never Dies as Pontius Pilate. Golden Globe winner Oscar Isaac, Ex Machina, as Jesus Christ.
Yeah, anyway.
Machina, right?
Oscar Isaac, yeah, he's been in Star Wars stuff too. Yeah.
Mark Hamill, Star Wars.
Boom. Mark Hamill.
Yeah, they should have led with that. That's the only name I recognized right out the bat.
You would know Oscar Isaac.
Really? Anyways,
Forrest Whitaker, Ben Kingsley. Yeah.
Roman Griffin Davis.
Who was Jojo Rabbit?
Right. So it's looking really good for them, and it's going to theaters April 11th. I haven't seen anything else about it. Like, it's kind of crazy how they're planning to go to theaters so soon. Am I wrong?
So things sped up for them quite a bit when they got all the voice talent attached, because basically this is being made in Korea. There's some wealthy investor, I think here in the U.S., I'm not sure where, that put money into this and hired a studio in Korea to make this. And they're a special effects studio, and so it looks slick. It's a CG animated film, like she said, and the effects and all that are top notch, and because that's what they're good at. What I'm going to be curious about is how do the characters act and perform? Is it going to fall flat there? Because that's not what they're as good at. And so they hired on a few like U.S. production people too to help them, I think, kind of up the acting and stuff. But at
It
a
looks
certain
like
point,
a lot of your sets too.
well, yeah, we're all kind of looking at the same references, historical references, so that doesn't
Wow, it's
surprise
almost
me.
like the same film. It's kind of crazy.
It's not. You're saying that to get me going. That's not true at all. Again, ours is a 2D animated feature film, very stylized, almost like a European style.
Stylized like this film.
No, it's not. It's the same subject matter and taking place at the same
It's too
place, same
easy.
time. Stop. So, anyway, King of Kings, it's a Korean production that is getting. Oh, and Angel Studios then came along and said, we'll distribute it. So,
Yeah, and isn't there a lot of tea with Angel Studios right now? Aren't they kind of...
there is. They used to have a funding platform, I guess you could say, where they would put money in and develop properties, and they would do it through crowd investment, just like Pencilish Studios were crowd invested. But they would like put it forth as like a new offering, and they would get people to get to,
Doesn't that dilute investors?
It does. But I think they would do them project to project. I don't know if you were always investing in Angel Studios every time or
Right.
just in that one project. But at any rate, it's complicated. It's a long story. But in the long run, basically, they started really making some money. And some of the complaints were that when they made like $1 billion off of Sound of Freedom,
Wow.
they didn't return that money back to the investors. I don't know what the whole story is, but that
Is
was
that
some
even
of the...
like
That was some of the complaints.
allowed? Like, how are they not in legal trouble?
It is allowed if they're not a public company.
Yeah, but remember how when we were gonna do like investing in just the film,
Yeah.
we would have had to have like returned to investors. Remember, it's part of the contracts.
I think they acquired that film. Nobody invested per se in that film. They had invested in Angel, and Angel with some of the money they'd made, however, through investment or maybe even profits, they had acquired that film from Disney. So it's
If
not
there's a
so...
whole crowd of people that are expecting money in return, some seem
Nobody
sketch.
invested directly in that film is the point. And so they're saying, well, I think that was their argument, is that separate from our Angel Studios investment, even though you could say they used Angel Studios money. And anyway, long story short, they've become more of a distribution company than
It's probably
like a
for
funding.
the best.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to you, and congrats to you.
Good
Your
luck.
film's coming out April 11th.
Good luck to the bobblehead.
It's the other one.
King of Kings. We want them to do well. I'm going to say this officially. The light of the world wants you guys to do well. Good luck, King of Kings. We want anytime anybody's
We
talking
want you
about
guys
Jesus,
to walk so that Light of the World can run.
I mean, secretly I do, yeah. You could say.
All right, on to Article 2. The Animation Guild reaches tentative agreement with AMPTP.
Wow. So that's big news.
3 months of bargaining.
So the Animation Guild in LA, and it's also called TAG, TAG, TAG. And it's by the way, it's through IATSE is the union. And by IATSE is a union that does auto mechanic things in New York. I mean, they represent a lot of different areas, but this specific IATSE group number,
839.
local 839, is the animation union part of it. Okay. So that union, they've been kind of threatening to strike, honestly, because they were starting to go through negotiations and they were getting everybody riled up in the animation union to potentially strike. And looks like it's not a signed agreement yet, but
Dogs.
that's my dogs snoring, if you hear them.
Oh my gosh, it's so loud. Mushy Macy.
Anyway,
Anyways.
it looks like they have, nothing signed, it looks like, but that they did
Right.
basically have a verbal agreement right now. So,
So,
what are some of the things that they were
the
fighting
agreements
for?
are increases to health and pension funds with no cuts to the healthcare benefits or added cost to members. Wage increases 7% in the first year, 4% in the second, and 3.5% in the third.
We got to talk about that one. 7%. Oof, that's good.
AI protections that include notifications and consultation provisions. Improvements in the new media side letter, aka side letter in.
And we don't know what that is.
Protections for remote work. New bereavement leave and additional sick days. Recognition of Juneteenth as a holiday. Craft special gains, including a framework for staffing minimums for writers and significant wins for storyboard artists.
Yeah, so those are vague. We don't really know the details of what they were trying to get and what they've agreed to, and if there was a difference and disparity between what they were trying to get and what they got. It does sound very impressive, I would say. I can't believe they got a wage increase of 7% the first year.
Yeah.
And here's why I say that. Animation, as we know, is in a lull right now, a big lull. Live action film, maybe even worse. So it being a very volatile time for animation, I thought it was crazy that they were even hinting that they might strike. So that was scary enough.
Yeah, now's not the time.
But then for the producers union to agree to so many of these terms is a little fishy to me.
What are they getting in return?
I think that they gave him a few things, and I'm going to say the pay increases. And Uncle Tony joked about this. We covered this a little bit on our Bancroft Brothers animation podcast that is coming out after Thanksgiving. And his joke was, well, that's because they agreed to that because there's going to be so few people still working that they don't care if they give them 7%.
That's actually so true.
It's dark, but there's a little truth to it. And also they all, whenever there's a negotiation, people are always giving a little bit and taking a little bit. And I think what the producers union got was the AI stuff, which is what they really wanted. If you dig deeper into and I did a little bit, it's hard to find all the information out there, but
AI protections that include notification and consultation provisions.
And notifications. Yeah.
Niche.
Basically what they're saying, this is what I understand. I could be wrong. What I understand that means is that they have to go to the studio and say, we're trying to make the producers at the big conglomerate studios, the Disneys, the Pixars, say, on our next film, we're going to probably use AI for right here, right here, right here. It's going to affect this job, this job, this job. Meaning, or if we're going to hire new people, we're going to use AI to do this, this, and this. And so therefore, they need to know those things. Either one of those things, they could go and notify the union, and that's them being notified. Doesn't mean anything. They're going to move forward with whatever they want. They're just saying what we told you first. Okay, check that box. And then what was the other one? That consultation. And then the consultation part, I'm assuming, and some of this I did research, but it's hard to find all the info. So there's still some guessing here. Is that they got to go to the union and say, here's how we would like to use AI. How can we best use more of your union members, not lay off everybody, and plug in some of what they do really well and how we want to instigate AI and kind of work together and negotiate and inform you of that. But in the end, there's no real protections. That's what I'm reading here.
Right.
Is none of these are saying, we're going to protect your jobs, we're going to tell them they can't use AI, because they know they can't. How are they going to tell anybody not to use the technology, right? Like, oh, Microsoft Word took my job 10 years ago. Make sure they don't use Microsoft Word anymore. Make it legal, in a contract. Well, nobody's going to sign that. They're not going to agree not to use Microsoft Word if that's the software that everybody's using or that helps them in production. So AI is kind of like that. It's like being told there's a software out there that can do a lot of amazing things. In some cases, your job, and we can't tell them they can't use it because it's out there.
Well, and you know what's crazy? It's very covered up because the line above it is the wage increases. Yeah. So you're reading it and you're like, wage increase, yay, yay, yay. And then AI
and what
protection.
Company have you heard of out there right now? Because the whole, I would say that, obviously the whole economy is in a slump right now. Who's giving out 7% wage increases right
Not
now?
you.
No. I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. Not me. Yep. So, and then guarantee for 2 more years, right? It goes down, but they're still getting like, what is it? 4.
That's crazy.
4 the second year, 3.5. So that means if you were able to keep your job for 3 more years, right? You're going to get a wage increase of 14.5%.
Yeah.
14.5% in 3 years. Who gets that? So I think that was a gimme, and also something to kind of like to appease people. But meanwhile,
you're right, 'cause
we got
people
some
are
dark
hungry.
times ahead with AI, I think.
Oof, well,
Yep.
that was depressing.
I know. Sorry.
Anyways, on to the next. Article 3, Paramount Animation announces yet another attempt at a Mighty Mouse feature.
Here I come to save the day. All right. This I'm excited about.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
who's driving it? Tell us. Who made the deal? Who saved the day?
the very own Ryan Reynolds.
Our very own.
He is producing it through his production company, Maximum Effort Productions.
Yeah. So that's a big
Super
deal.
exciting.
So
He could take it and make it go well.
Ryan scooped in. So they've been trying to make a Mighty Mouse feature film at Paramount, I guess.
I didn't know that.
Who owns the license or owns the character? They've been trying to make one for years and years, and there's been rumors of this and all that. It was going to be 2D, and there was going to be a CG, and now who knows what Ryan Reynolds is going to do with it? I'm voting for 2D.
Doubtful.
Doubtful, probably. I know.
He's probably going to do live action mixed or
I know. Well,
CG.
how are you going to do a superhero mouse in live action?
how do you do Mufasa in live action?
It's CG.
I know.
Oh my god!
But they call it a live action film.
Can you see? I have a Mighty Mouse. Whoop, right there. That's my Mighty Mouse sculpture.
Don't they call Mufasa a live action film?
They do, but those are idiots. Those are dumb
But that's
people.
what I'm saying. They can call it live
know.
action.
Yeah, we can
I
assume.
don't know
it'll be
anything about
CG.
Mighty Mouse except for about your little
Yeah.
toys.
He's basic. There's really nothing to him, and I think that's why they haven't really done much with him. He was
that-
a spoof in the 40s. It says at the beginning of this article when he came around
Oh,
that he was a spoof of Superman as a mouse. You know, it was just
really? 1990s.
no, it's not 1990s. That's
sorry. 1942.
They've been trying to make a movie since the 1990s.
1942.
So yeah, the 40s. So, you know, it was a very simple, just comic. It was a comic book originally, and a mouse that's got fighting, and I think it was in all a mouse world because I remember the animated cartoon. Here's a little trivia, guys.
Here we go.
My very first job in animation was working at Ralph Bakshi Productions on, guess what? As a PA, production assistant, so I didn't actually do any drawings, but I was on
Mighty Mouse.
The New Adventures of Mighty Mouse.
Wow.
In the
so
90s.
they should give you a ring.
They should get a ring?
A ring.
Oh, a phone. Yeah. Call me.
You know, they say that like kids that like grew up in the early 2000s, they go like this
Yeah.
instead of like that. Isn't that weird?
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
They don't know.
Call me. Yeah.
Anyways, congrats and mazel to you, Ryan. Very excited.
Mazel.
Mazel tov.
Yeah. Okay. But what's Mazel tov.
You have really long hair on your cheek. Anyways,
Mentioned that last time.
no, not there. It's like there. It's
Why are
you
we
missed
doing
it.
this right
Sorry.
now? Yeah.
It stares at me again. Anyways, very exciting, and it seems like there's a world of options if there's not really much of a story with him. So
That's the way I look
that
at
kind
it.
of leaves it open. It's like the Barbie movie. Like you
Yeah.
could have gone anywhere with that film,
Amen. You're right. And I think, yeah.
and you only made it one of the biggest films of all time, Greta Gerwig. So let's see what you do, Ryan Reynolds.
I think Ryan's the guy. to
He
make it
actually
into
is
something.
like this is so up his alley.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
a
he won't write
family
it.
friendly.
And actually, they already have a writer attached. One of his
Yes,
writers, I
it's
guess, from
Matt
Lieberman.
who wrote the film Free Guy
Mm-hmm.
and has penned a number of animated movies, including Rebel, Scoob, and The Addams Family.
Rumble,
Rumble, Scoob.
Scoob. And
Oh, I
the
thought that
Addams
was
Family.
one movie. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Reading's hard.
Yeah, you know I went to summer school for that. That's so mean.
Oh, I paid for it.
It was elementary school.
You're welcome. Okay.
We're gonna go because I'm gonna fight him after.
We're gonna play football for Thanksgiving, so we might be out next week because there's a lot of fighting. It's gonna go on. It's gonna get physical.
Yeah.
And I'll probably hurt myself.
You say I can't read.
Even if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna hurt myself playing football. It's a bad idea.
All right, that's the scoop, guys.
That's the
We're
scoop.
kind of like, it's dark outside, feeling a little rainy. We're feeling tired. We're ready for the weekend. We're kind of trying to round this up. So
Wrap it up.
wrap.
Wrap around it.
I'm not having a good time.
Use the words.
Stop.
Get it out.
Stop. I just know anything I'm about to say, I'm going to get bullied for. So, you know what? I'll be silent.
Thank you for joining us. And as we always say,
You're about to get bullied.
please
back
tell a
for bullying
friend
me.
about the animation
Put in the
recap.
comments really mean things about Tom Bancroft.
Don't do that. I'm very sensitive.
Really?
She's bulletproof. You can say whatever you want about her. It won't bother her. I'm kidding. Don't do it. Honestly.
Anyways.
She'll go nuts.
Oh my gosh. You're making me out to be crazy. Anyways, we need to stop before it gets worse. Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Feeling thankful.
Be sure to subscribe to the Pencilish Studios YouTube channel.